Well, there we go. Now, earlier in the show, I asked people, as I always do, to phone in or text in or whatever, telling me what they've been up to. And I see on the line here we have John from Basingstoke. John, are you there?
Hello, yes, John Ashe from Basingstoke. John Ashe with an E, of course. Nice to be speaking to you again, Mark.
Nice to speak to you too, John. Regular caller to the show. So, John, what's been going on in your life this week?
Well, not a lot going on, but I've made a decision about a room that I had created on the side of the house, probably about 10 years ago, and I've decided to get rid of it.
Oh, right. Okay. What room is that then, John?
It's a pottery room.
Oh, okay. What with a kiln and stuff like that?
Yep, the full works, the kiln, the potter's wheel, bags of clay, lots of information. Excuse me. Yes, lots of information. I have a library about pottery, and I actually spent quite a bit of time during the week sorting out the books, trying to get them in the right sort of order, and I do like them to be a very pleasant height. You start at one side of the bookcase with high books, and then you work your way down to the smaller books so that it all looks neat in the bookcase. Okay. And then you have the added benefit then of, if you have any other books that won't fit in vertically, you can put them in sort of horizontally, although I suppose slightly diagonally, in the space at the top. So I've been spending a fair amount of time doing that, and it looks really, really nice. Okay. Lots and lots of pottery books collected over lots and lots of years. I spent a lot of money on that. Right. And in fact, a substantial amount of cash actually making well, it's not really an alteration, it's an extension to the side of the house to create this room. Right. And then populate that room with lots of expensive equipment. Oh, right. So how many pots have you made then, John, over the last few years? Well, that's a bit of a leading question there, Mark, but the answer is none. None. No. Well, you see, I get these enthusiasms, but I don't necessarily carry them out in practice. Oh, right. The pogo stick, that's an exception to that rule, as is the stilts. Ah, yes. But there are other enthusiasms I have, which, I sort of get all fired up, no pun intended there, yeah. But don't necessarily do anything about it. And this is perhaps the most expensive of my enthusiasms that didn't lead to anything. Gosh. So I'm thinking now, perhaps I should remove all that equipment and all those books and use the room for something else. So you bought yourself a kiln, and you bought yourself bags of clay, and you bought yourself books, and you never once, as it were, touched a bit of clay then and tried to throw yourself a pot? No, not once. No, I did touch the clay. All right. Yes, I opened up one of the bags on one occasion because it described it as being rather moist, So I thought, well, I'll try. So I opened it up and touched, and yes, indeed, it was moist. I had to throw that one away, of course. I didn't use it. It went dry. Yeah, it would have gone dry. But no, beyond that, I didn't. No, so I didn't put anything on. It's all pristine, It's sort of perfect condition. My wife is not too happy about this kind of enthusiasm. She just thinks I'm a bit of an idiot for spending what is actually £35,000, I think. When you what? John, £35,000? Well, well, when you consider the extension as well. Gosh. And you had to presumably, you had to get an electricity supply there, and presumably you've got basins, I suppose, as well, to wash your hands and all that stuff. Planning permission. Gosh. Yep. That's right. The windows in, and the roof. Yeah. Yeah, flat roof, but nevertheless you had to put it in. Yeah. Yes, basins, quite right, yeah. Gosh. Water, electricity, gas, of course, for the kiln. Right, goodness me, John. Yeah, it was a fortune. Took quite a long time as well, and then, of course, collecting all the books. And they're specialist books, so they're quite expensive. So what... Some of them were worth £100. Goodness. Each. So what area of pottery were you going to get into, John? I mean, when you initially sort of decided to do this, what sort of were you going to make? Were you going to throw vases or make sort of bowls, or were you going to sort of make little figures of animals and stuff like that? No, this is why I had a wheel. You see, well, I do have a wheel because I rather like the idea of making cups and mugs. Right. That's because I like tea and coffee. Yeah. I was all a little bit put off by the idea of trying to put a handle on. Because I think it'd be pretty difficult anyway, trying to make the cup all nice and regular. I've seen people do it, of course, plenty of demonstrations.
Sure.
And I've always thought that would be great to do that, but how difficult it would be to do that. But then put a handle on as well. I did something like that when I was at school. I was absolute rubbish at it. Why I thought that I might be any good at doing it as an adult, I don't know, except, of course, that I had a training as a quantity surveyor, and that gave me confidence. But never actually did it. No, and the neighbour, who I do have some difficulties, some relationship difficulties with, calls me an absolute moron for spending all that money. But you know what? Yeah, I think he's an absolute moron.
Have you been watching the Great Pottery Throwdown? Because that ended last night. That was the grand finale last night. Would that perhaps inspire you to get back in the pottery room?
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I do watch that quite a lot. Yeah, you think so, wouldn't you? But it doesn't really inspire me. Because I always think people are doing it better than I could.
Right. So what are you going to do with all the stuff then? You're going to stick it on you're going to try and sell it off, put it on eBay or something?
Yep, probably. Although there are some specialist shops, as you can imagine, so I might drive over there and see what they say. I don't know. I might get into it. I'm just thinking about it at the moment. Well, I just wandered in there. Well, I've been sorting out the books, but I had a wander in there earlier today, and I stood in there in the middle of the room with my hands on my hips. I had a good old 360, and then I thought, I could convert this all back into cash, less, of course, than I paid. Well, that's the way the world is, isn't it? That's justice and all that. But then I thought, well, what would I do with the cash anyway? I mean, there are things one could buy, to put it back in the bank, for a rainy day and all that sort of thing. But then I might start thinking, well, how about another enthusiasm? And then I thought, well, why couldn't that just be pottery? But that would be really stupid, wouldn't it? Sell everything off for less than you paid for it, and then buy it all again. That would be completely stupid.
Well, look, John.
And then my neighbour would be right to call me a moron, which he isn't, because he's a moron. Well, he is a moron. He's an absolute moron.
Well, look, John. Why don't you just hold off for a week or so and call us back next week or next time I'm on air, because we had a few problems here and there in Valley Park. But next time I'm on air, call us back and tell us how you got on and whether you still got your pottery room. How's that?
Yeah, all right. Yes, I'll do that. That sounds like a very good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing is, if I do get rid of it, I'll have to have something to change my mood, because I do use that as a sort of, not exactly a meditation room, but if I feel rather blue, as sometimes I do. I've said, well, I actually called you and I said, well, I'm feeling rather blue today. So when I'm feeling rather blue, sometimes I'll go in there and sit in the middle of the room and I'll look around, and it gives me a sense of expectation, or aspiration,
potential.
Oh, one day, perhaps I'll try, and I might do really well at this. And so once my mood has shifted in an upward direction, I close the door, go and do something else, have a cup of coffee, cheese sandwich, or something, forget all about it. But my mood has changed.
Right.
So whether you think that's worth 35,000 quid, I don't know. But sorry, I've got somebody at the door. Oh dear.
Oh, it's all right, John. I'll hold here for you.
Right, I'm just going to see.
Okay, we'll wait here for you, John.
All right. Somebody come in. What is it? What is it? It better not be that neighbour. No. Right. Are you going to?
You're right there, John. Do you want to call back?
I'm so sorry. What was that? All right. So you've been booked to do this, have you? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's a man who's going to spread something on the lawn.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say, John, why don't you convert your kiln area into a sauna?
Yeah, I'm not sure about saunas. They're a bit sexual.
Okay, John. So let's have a record request from you. Give us a record that you'd like us to play on our virtual turntable.
Okay, well, this week I would like to choose the Birdie song, because that's something that I used to dance to as a young man. In fact, very, very fond of it. I had it at our wedding.
Oh, right.
So everybody was able to dance to that and have a good time. You know the Birdie song?
Well, I do indeed. We can get that up straight away for you. I do indeed. I know it well. It's always nice to have an excuse to play it on the show.
Absolutely. Otherwise known as the chicken dance, I believe, or the duck dance, or the duck song, or something like that. It's got lots of names, hasn't it? So yes, that would be good. That's probably is my favourite dance song.
Okay.
Apart from the Okie Kokie, which is also my favourite.
All right, John.
Actually,
Well,
Okie Kokie is a bit more community oriented, isn't it? Because you link arms.
Yes.
Do things like putting your foot in, foot out, and all that sort of thing, and shaking things all about.
That's true.
Yeah, you don't do that so much in the Birdie song.
No, there's a lot of sort of movement of the arms, isn't there? And in unison, I suppose, you sort of line dancing kind of thing, isn't there?
Yes, but you don't link arms as you do in the Okie Kokie. So from that point of view, I would say from a community point of view, that's probably my favourite.
I suppose the Birdies...
But from a sort of sense of freedom with the Birdie song.
Yeah, I
suppose... You're doing it together, but you're not linked, so you're free. So from a freedom point of view, libertarian point of view, that's my favourite.
All right, well, I suppose if they're birds, they've got wings, you can't really link the wings, can you?
Absolutely. You see, I knew you were scientific as well, Mark.
Look, John, do you want us to give a shout-out for anybody?
Molly...
Molly, yes, okay, we'll
yes,
do
please.
Lovely, thank you for that. And we'll hopefully speak to you next week then, John.
Yes, hopefully. Yes, I maybe made some decisions about this kiln, this wheel, etc., and the books. So I'll let you know about that. Anyway, it's great to speak to you.
No problem,
Mark,
John.
I love your show. Really good show. Miss it when it's not on. Enjoy it when it is on. It's a highlight of my week to be able to call in.
Well, John,
so thank you very much. Great show.
Thank you very much. It was lovely to hear from you, John. See you again. Bye.
Bye.
Darren's Valley's radio station.